I'm going to shoot the slides right now as I go into this introduction phase. So let me switch. All right. So going back to what we're doing here, we're doing the four purposes of life, by Don Millman. And a quick overview is divided into the four purposes of life, right? We've done 2 weeks of it, and today we'll close chapter 1, which is the first purpose, which is learning life's lesson, right? It's all a summary of learning life's lesson. Because when we come here, we all come here empty by design. We have a disc inside of us for our purpose, but we come in here empty by design because God wants us to learn, have an experience of life. We don't come here knowing everything. We come here empty, right, from conception. And that's why God puts so much emphasis on that commandment that says, honor your father and mother. Because your father and mother are supposed to be the one to start feeding your mind with how you're going to win and in this life. So from conception, you start learning life's lesson. Once you are conceived, even in your mother's womb, you start getting impulses from the external of your mother, right? That's why the ancients, in Greek, they will put pregnant women surrounded by beautiful things because they know that from conception, that baby is receiving everything that will help it achieve its purpose. Everything, ever before, as a baby is growing in your stomach, everything that happens to the mother affects the baby also. That determines the destiny of the baby. So that's why God says, honor your father and mother, because they determine your destiny. It says the promise that you get by honoring them is that you will live long. And you need to look at the word live long, not just living long, but having the fullness that life has to offer.
Scene 1. And we've been looking at learning life's lessons in the first chapter, like it has been introduced. And then today I just want to wrap it up from, we've talked about smarting up, grow up, and wake up. And so let's just look at a brief introduction as we wrap it up. One, we understand that life is a school and that we have a lot of lessons that life teaches us. And what we have said, learning life lessons requires 3 key things. Number 1, we need to smarten up. Number 2, we need to grow up. And then number 3, we need to wake up. And the last issue is what we'll be looking at in today in details in this last focus of the first chapter of the book. And so we talk about wake up. To wake up means we come into the realities of life. As individuals in life, we'll understand that there are realities in this life. And this refers to issues that are common to men, things that all men passes through, whether man or woman, young or old, adults or young adults, rich or poor. Some of these things may be afflictions, some of them may be adversities, some might also be opportunities, might be open doors across our ways. And so that's what we are talking about when we say we need to wake up to life's lessons. And then from there, we move ahead to the fact that what are the realities of life that we have to face? The realities of life in terms of the challenges that life poses across to us. One, we need to understand that life in itself is a challenge. Everybody has one challenge or the other he passes through. And then based on this, every man has that challenge to face. The other thing is that life is like a classroom, a school. And then we have a lot of things to learn in that school. We have a course to take, and then we have lessons to learn. And then, of course, life is a teacher. That's the third thing there. We need to understand the raw realities of life. There are lessons that life has to teach us, and we must wake up to understanding that fact. And then, of course, if life is a challenge, is a classroom, and is a teacher, then definitely living souls are students. Those of us that are there in life, we are all students, and we need to learn those things. Then the fifth part there is that for us to succeed is a function of the mastery of life's lessons. If you have gone through the chapter one of the book, we see that it says the earlier we understand the lessons of life, the better it is. And failure is like sometimes you missed a particular point, you are made to repeat it in the sense that through a particular experience that you are passed through in life, maybe something is coming up and then you have failed to wake up to the reality on ground. It will have to be repeated. And then the person goes through that same process again. And so life teaches us through experiences, daily experiences. Then the seventh point there I need to emphasize is that life offers us certificate. That looks funny. But when we came into life, we are all given birth certificates. And then at when a man is living life too, he also gets a certificate. And this might look it might look somehow, but if we tend it to being religious a little bit, we will realize that even for somebody to enter heaven and make it eventually, it also has a certificate alongside with it. So life offers certificates, which gives us grades on how we have lived our life. Then we move to experiences of life. Experiences of life is the means through which life teaches us, like I said in that point six of the last slide. And so we have to focus more on that. People used to say that experience is the best teacher. And so learning life's experiences occur basically through the various experiences that we all go through. But we need to understand some of these experiences might be personal, some might be that of others. We must not wait for some experiences to happen to us before we learn the lessons we need to learn. What I mean is that there are some things that are not pleasant, and if somebody wants to say, "Okay, I want to pass through it," like if we look at chapter one of the book, he was talking about voluntary and involuntary adversities, and that a lot of adversities are involuntary. Maybe somebody had an accident and then there is a challenge along the line, they are involuntary. And so we must learn from those experiences of life. Now we go into learning from life. What do we learn from life? Number one, we learn from events of life. We have various events in life. We have ceremonies, we have occasions, wedding, naming, burial ceremony, activities that goes on in life, graduation ceremony. Some of these things they are realities, they are normal things that we all pass through. But then the way we do it, our approaches to them, our attitudes to them, the way we see things and the way we approach those things matters a lot, and there are lessons we need to learn. And then number two, there is environmental factors in life. There are lots of things in our environment. For instance, there are some things that works in a particular environment that doesn't work in another environment, and then there are things that are prevalent in an environment. Maybe there might be difficulties and they are not real in other environments, and we need to understand. And that takes us to exposures of life, where we are exposed to somebody that has been living in Canada all his life, for instance, might not know much about kidnapping in Nigeria. And so there are exposures in life. And then somebody that has been working in the hospital environment as an health worker may not know what is happening in the construction industry. But exposures of life teaches us a lot of things, and of course, through experiences of life. So all these realities teaches us. And one thing that is important is we can summarize the lessons we learn through these as either through adversities or advantages, in the sense that these things, some of them are adversities, and then we learn. Some of them are advantages, and we still learn from all those advantages that we also face. That means opportunities or open doors. And so that is very important for us to take note. Now, coming to the issue of waking up to life's lessons, it's important for us that before we can learn lessons of life, we must wake up. And to wake up means it's like somebody that is sleeping and you go to tap the person, wake up, wake up. It's time for this particular activity or the other. And so we can simply say it's in a layman's terminology, arising from sleep. And so I will use that acronym ARISE to quickly explain wake up as I wrap it up. That one, the A there means accept life as a school. All of us must accept that life is a school. We must accept to learn life's lessons. We must accept that being alive is being in a school. And God uses so many experiences, exposures, events, environmental factors to teach us so many lessons. And number two, the R there is that we must recognize ourselves as a student, and then we must resolve to pass our exams. These are not the funny thing about life is that the exams of life are not the exams that you sit down, you take pen and paper, and then they tell you you have 2 hours to answer this question. Question one is compulsory, question two, and like that. They're just exams that comes to you sometimes unprepared. Maybe while you are driving, somebody tries to provoke you, and then if care is not taken, you see yourself already running courses on the person. And then before you know it, you realize that am I supposed to act like that? Or something that want to make you to lose your self-worth, like we have learned in all those 12 keys in the curriculum of self-value. And so you will realize that they are teaching you something and giving you an exam, which if care is not taken, somebody may fail and somebody may pass, depending on preparedness level. And one